So, yeah, I was really proud of being able to upgrade to Category 2 on this bike.
So that you could get your butt kicked from then on.
So I could get my butt kicked. But just to be on the start line and be able to kind of like be around like the elite amateur and a few pros that do show up to these races. And it's like, I at least want to roll out of town with these guys and get that feeling of like this pure energy in the group.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. That point that comes in the race when you're either going to get dropped or hang on. You need every part of your being to be there. And when your bicycle allows you to use all of your capabilities, at least it doesn't have any like abject obstructions to that, then you know 100% that yes, I gave my all before the race to be prepared, and then during the race to like put my whole soul into staying with this group for as long as possible, and then maybe having the chance to be there to witness and be part of the finale.
Yeah.
And it's like when you as a I came into cycling more from like this emotional energy side.
Well, you were like a glamour bodybuilder, right?
I was, and the bike changed it changed me from thinking about the body or valuing a body in terms of how it looked.
So we're gonna post some of his Goldman pictures right now.
Yeah, there's
Can I get some of those?
No, I deleted them because I find them to be, well, if they're out there somewhere on like in the ether, that's fine. But it's pretty embarrassing for me.
I'm sorry.
From what but not embarrassing. Like I don't care that people know that, but it's like it's just a proof of I don't know, like when you get an education about like how can I say.
Well, you basically told me that you feel like you were kind of abusing your body doing that.
Oh, majorly, and it was the source of injury. And so what a person's body looks like can get easily at a certain point it does get decoupled from health, well-being, and longevity.
Yeah, 6% body fat wasn't good for you.
Well,
how low did you get?
Yeah,
don't play this game. But how low did you get?
Like probably 3.
Oh my god!
Yeah. But like I did that cycling too. So again, cycling, and so I got tons of injuries and like any sort of rabbit hole I went down.
Yeah,
but
because you push too hard.
You push hard, you get addicted to the feeling.
I swear, when I'm not feeding you, you don't eat.
That happens too, because you're just like driven forward by like, look, it's 8:30. I've got to get to my next appointment.
I might have the problem of too much food drive, but you have the problem of like not enough food drive.
Yeah, well, caffeine is a hell of a drug, and it allows you to like feel good, and yeah, like when that hunger feeling gets decoupled from like your actual nutrition, like that's something that happens to active people.
All sorts of people in every direction too. Like too much not good food, too much good food, not enough bad or good food.
Yeah. And like having people looking out for you is one, but then also like looking out for those signs of the body, and like coming back to the bike thing, like when something is like when you're feeling like you're pushing so hard but you're not getting results out of it, it's like you've got to change something about what you're doing internally, like with your training, something like maybe like mindset. But if honestly, like the gear is the easiest thing, because that's like, other than money, like that's like easily fixable.
It's definitively fixable. Yeah.
And like I'm like a very secondarily or tertiarily interested in the gear when it comes to cycling. For me, it's
really easy to become a gearhead and stuff. Like, and you know what's weird? We brag about that stuff, but we didn't deserve it or own it. I mean, like we bought it, but it's like I have nothing to do with how clear that lens is, and I'll like we're stupid vain people, so I'll like brag about it sometimes a little bit when I shouldn't.
All right, somebody else made it.
Yeah, so I didn't make it. Someone else was put in the hard. A bunch of other people put in the hard work and time to put that together, and then I bought it for. If I had actually watched them put all the work in, I'd be like, man, I'm ripping these people off.
Oh yeah.
And that's for most items, to be honest.
That's a good point. Yeah. Well, that's like the beauty. I don't know. It's the beauty of like the modern era in a way. Like we can have like these ridiculously specialized things that help us totally forget. It's like they're so seamless now. We can forget about all the care that goes into like everything around us.
Oh yeah, like an average intelligent, hardworking person in America or most of Europe and many other places, lives better than any monarch in the preceding 300 years or whatever, because King Louis the whatever could not jump on a plane and go somewhere. He could not see a good physical therapist for the most part, and one of the things about I'm not famous, don't want to be famous, the downside of becoming very famous, especially if you're in a super unequal society, is I probably have a substantially better life than whoever is running the bigger cartels in South America, because that dude cannot just walk around, go to the coffee shop, meet somebody without anybody knowing.
Well, the
presidents are like that too.
Yeah. Oh man, that would be crazy to actually be famous like that. I think that would be pretty sad pretty quickly.
Well, someone was talking to me about how if you become president of the United States or whatever, you actually lose a bunch of your personal freedoms.
Yeah, that is crazy.
They will not let you drive the car. For example, that's not an option anymore.
Yeah, that is funny. I wonder. Anyway. Yeah, back to Earth. I know that's that's the cool thing too about how many people do we kind of look up to, that are normal people on the internet. They share their knowledge. Mm-hmm. They're only famous in a narrow band, or not even famous, just they have some skill set that they get known for because they're just prolific in sharing what they know to help people.
Yeah.
But then they can still go out and there's so many different little subcultures in the U.S., especially on the internet. It's just you can have I don't know, 1 million views on something, or maybe 100,000 views, and it's still you can just have a normal life. But it's people are thankful because you're helping them through just sharing your knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's especially it was sort of enabled through YouTube. Yeah. Broadly for most people, but it used to be, if you wanted information on all sorts of specific subjects, the only thing that you could try to do to find that is to actually do real work to find somebody who was actively doing it and then ask for their personal time. Or maybe you could go to the library, but you get a very sanitized and sometimes
editorialized. Yeah.
Well, I don't even I can't tell you how many, because I used to do laboratory science, and you have to publish how you do it. I can't tell you how many times I have run into the discovery that they purposely left something out so you couldn't copy them.
Huh.
And it wasn't not you couldn't ever copy them, but you were going to waste $5,000 in 2 months doing it wrong if you read these instructions and try to follow it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was I'm pretty sure they didn't forget about that. And that's a super known things in labs and any of these.
What do you think about that though? Because do you think that there is some value that's lost to having things seem so easy to do when it's so easily available?
Well, I mean, what was it? There's some. It's probably not a cliche. Maybe I'll just say a cliche. But there's the thing real professionalism or talent is making something really hard look easy.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't make it look hard. Mm-hmm. And you should also just tell people here's how you start making sourdough, and this is what it looks like after I've done it for 300 hours. Totally expect to spend weeks in a sticky mess.
Making something until it's adequate for you.
Yeah, until it's adequate for you, and then you'll slowly get better over time and all that good stuff. There's nothing wrong with that.
I like that.
And I think one thing, not to be too political or whatever, that I think was maybe a misexpectation of the future of reality is I think a lot of the people in the era of thinking of Marx or whatever, when early industrialization happened, they kind of just assumed consumerism would be more and more of the same thing. And I don't think that they realized that, at least what I've seen society do recently, is we've kind of moved into making much nicer versions of existing things, not more of them.
And
you know, to tie it back to your craft, you would, you know, there's all kinds of exercise books and manuals out there, and me trying to, even if I have the right idea of my problem, which I don't, but me trying to copy how to do the exercises off the books or whatever is not super likely to be successful, even if they did a great job. Where like your in-person talent is your value add, it's your production. And it's like super necessary, because like he'll have me get into some ridiculous position so that I can strengthen the muscle I need, and then he'll poke me somewhere on the leg or whatever and be like, hey, that muscle's not firing. Figure out how to tighten that muscle.
I think that it's totally possible. So
and you could never do that from a book. Like, that's just not happening.
Well, maybe not. But if you were to go back to the book, I'll go against that for a second, because I think you can get somewhere. It just depends on what your current understanding is, and then where you're trying to go with that understanding and how fast you're trying to get there.
Well, to be clear, I wasn't saying like book's evil.
No. Yeah, but I mean, I feel like you could read the same book 50 times and get the same ones. If you could have the same exact instruction. Like 100 times, like when you listen to my recordings. Of the yoga sessions, it's like, even some days I'm sure you get totally bored of it, and then some days it's the same instruction but it lights up in a new way with the same input.
I was there's a book that I read. I mean, this is high literature or near high literature or whatever, but there's a book that I read, A Brave New World, which I remember it being a cool sci-fi, like strange, weird, happy dystopian future. Good book, check it out. And I'm re-listening to it, and I'm not that far in, but now that I have kids, what they're saying in the first section of the book is just maddening and terrifying to me, because it's about like making standardized humans and mentally conditioning them and stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's terrible.
It used to be about
what they're doing.
That's funny. I'd be really.
And I don't remember that at all from reading it the first time.
Well, it's like, now it's like, oh yeah, well, that would be bad if it happened to somebody else, but it would never happen to me. And now it's like, oh, I would hate that. Like, I can't stand this concept, or like I would fight against this concept because it would affect my children.
Oh yeah. It's really funny in that book. They're talking about, and it's science fiction from the I think it's 1929 or something, and they're talking about like the they pray to Ford, and their society they've now standardized and mass produced humans, and they have different product lines of humans, and it's super important to them that they get like 84 of the exact same person, or as close as is possible, and it's all about that stuff. And like that happening and the way they do it is like, you know, I read it now and I'm like, oh my god, that's terrifying. They're like horribly abusing a bunch of children.
Of these children.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, man. Well, cool, man. Thanks for having me over. Thanks for the coffee.
Yeah? Oh, you gotta get going?
Let's get going. Let's take care of these kids.
Well, thank you for coming, and
it's always a pleasure.
Probably in the next few weeks he'll maybe we'll do the next one at his studio, or maybe, or we'll do another one about him getting ready. Quick update though. So you did start your own business.
Yes.
And that's been for how many weeks?
Let's say like full time. I just completed 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay, and now you've done a ton of preparation. It's not like you didn't have a client base or anything, but 2 weeks to date. If you made zero more client acquisitions or anything, and you just kept, you just snapshot that and put it throughout the year, can you feed yourself and keep your family running?
Yes.
Dude, that's not normal for starting your own business. But again, he didn't start from zero.
Right. And I just have to thank everyone who's helped me along the way. And got a lot more to do and learn, but it's looking good.
And just so you guys know, in like other relatively easy to start businesses, that I know about, like loan officer, real estate agent, loan officers, even if you're amazing, hardworking, you should expect to make $0 for about 6 months. Wow. And I think for real estate agents, it's like 4.
Wow. Yeah.
So yeah, you're doing great.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're helping people and you know that at the base level you're going to be helping people.
Well, you basically you retained your client base that you were
and my referral base. Yeah. Which I just so humbled by that. Just it's like awesome that when you're in the work, it's like you're just like focused on one person at a time. Yeah. And then like when it comes time to like ask people like, hey, I'm making this move, it'd be an honor to like continue to help you. And so it's like, yeah, of course. It's like, so I'm really getting that amazing energy of return from everything that I've put into helping like one person at a time. So yeah, that's been super, what's the word?
You're grateful.
I mean, I'm grateful. Yeah.
You're grateful. Like, you earned it, but having people tell you earned it is what's really happened, right?
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I guess that is. Yeah. And it's like that process never stops because every time someone has a problem and I'm saying I take responsibility for my part in helping you fix this, it's like that whole cycle all over again. So, which is cool, and that's why I'm here.
Yeah, sweet.
Oh, awesome, man.
All right, well, hey, I know you gotta go. So it's Get Rich Slow with John Wolf. I moved to Hometown Lenders. You can find my new contact info. And how do they get a hold of you? Okay, the Body Listener, Grant Headley. It's bodylistener.net, and check it out. Be in touch, and here to help you solve your injuries. Okay, and we'll get he'll give me whatever contact information he wants, and I'll get that in the description. Yeah. Peace. Happy Sunday.